only for protection, cause I never had it. Threw away my Smith and Wesson, cause they had it. All this money, you would think I'm with Illuminati. You can probably
That is Adrien the Problem Broner. It's a song that he did, a rap, a gangster rap, called Never Had It. You know something else that Adrien the Problem Broner has never had? $40 million. I am T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I'm in the middle of I haven't slept for about 24 hours or so, 11:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, January the 10th, 2015.
What exactly happened with Rock Nation Sports? Now, the word on the street is that Jay-Z approached you and you shot him down. What happened?
I mean, they sent the email or whatever. Jay-Z didn't do it, literally, but they shot the email or whatever, and I wasn't happy with it. The capacity of the contract was $40 million for 5 years, and that's just bullshit.
So essentially, you went on social media and you wrote, somebody go tell Jay-Z to bleep my bleep with an elephant tone. What do you say about that?
I mean, it is what it is, man, because at the end of the day, man, I felt disrespected. If you won't come to me and tell me that I'm going to fight 2 times a year, getting $8 million a year for 5 years straight, you got me up. I'm not old. I'm scheduled to fight 4 years, 4 times this year.
All right, so my question for you is, if somebody comes to you and wants to sign you to a 5-year deal, how much money does Adrien Broner deserve?
I mean, I don't want to shoot no numbers out there, but like I wanted to tell him, and hopefully this gets to him. Stop sending your workers to come talk to me. I'm a boss, man. Like bosses talk to bosses.
What about the draw of being 1 degree closer to
He made $1.5 million to fight Paulie Malignaggi. He made $1.25 to fight Carlos Molina, and he made over $1 million to fight, I forgot exactly how much, to fight Marcos Maidana. When you look at, as he said, about $7.5 million a year, when you look at, knowing the landscape of the 140 and 147 pound division as far as the champions and the contenders, then I look at the journeymen, then I look at the prospects, and I think to myself, who can Adrien Broner fight this year to make $8 million? It could happen this year, but then I ask, what about next year? But also, you have to factor in he has to win. Doing videos like this, it's like, it makes me upset, because when I think about Mr. Al Haymon, and what I'm pulling up for you right now is I'm going to read a little bit of the Al Haymon advisory agreement, because you need to understand that take nothing that Adrien the Problem Broner says seriously. Take nothing that he says seriously. You know why? It's because he's not his own boss. So if you want to see the Al Haymon advisory agreement, all you got to do is, guess what? Google Al Haymon contract. And guess who pops up? Right here. Thank you, T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live, RealCombatMedia.com. Your most consistent and complete boxing channel or reporter on YouTube, period, bar none. You know why? It's because, literally, I've been up for about 24 hours. I was on Google Hangout about 6 hours or so ago. I've been on social media about 3 or 4 hours, just investigate and get my investigative journalism on. But I'm going to read a little piece of this Al Haymon contract, right? Please subscribe. Take your time. Link is right below. Well, yeah, link is right below. It's a little early, but do re mi fa sol la ti. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. Do re mi fa sol la. Okay, all right. Now, let me just read a little bit of this to you. Al Haymon purports to be variously a manager or advisor of boxers. For the purpose of federal law, this distinction without a difference, as according to federal standards governing the boxing, the Muhammad Ali Act, term manager means a person who receives compensation for services as an agent or representative of a boxer. But what you know is that Al Haymon is a promoter. He operates as a promoter. But let me read this bit of this contract. Hold on, I'm scrolling down. I know, hang in there. I should have had it ready. But this is important because a lot of people seem to forget this stuff when it comes to this. Okay, here it is. What does it say? Exhibit A. No, we're not going to look at Exhibit A. And when I see a guy like, I say, okay, all right, he can fight Danny Garcia. Yeah, but what if he loses, you know? Lucas Matisse, he can fight him, but what if he loses, you know? Who's going to fight to get $3.5 million? Who's going to fight to get $3.5 million? You know? Who's he going to fight to get $4 million for his next fight? Who is he going to fight in 2 fights? Who is he going to fight in 5 years to attain $40 million? So I ask right now, the question goes, what means more to Adrien Broner? The bird in the hand or the two in the bush? Now, the bird in the hand was that $40 million offer he had right there, basically. No telling how much of that was guaranteed money. Here we are. Exclusive advisory rights. Advisors shall have the sole and exclusive right to render services on behalf of athlete. So let's just take out athlete and put Broner, right? So for in all considerations of mutual purpose, blah, 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 exclusive advisory rights. Al Haymon, we're going to replace advisor in this contract with Al Haymon, an athlete with Adrien Broner. Al Haymon shall have the sole and exclusive right to render services on behalf of Adrien Broner in connection with Adrien Broner's participation in boxing contests or exhibitions, and in connection with Adrien Broner's participation in entertainment performances, personal appearances, and endorsements and or sponsorship opportunities arising out of or related in any way to Adrien Broner's boxing career. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Haymon hereby agrees to A, advise and counsel Adrien Broner in the development and advancement of his professional boxing career. B, exercise best efforts to secure remunerative boxing contests and or exhibitions. C, secure proper training facilities and equipment for Adrien Broner. D, publicize and promote the talents and abilities of Adrien Broner through the various forms of media. And E, attempt to secure commercial endorsements, personal appearances, and or performances as a performer in movie, stage, radio, television, or forms of media entertainment. To secure such ends, Adrien Broner hereby makes and appoints Al Haymon as his agent and attorney, in fact, for him and his name to execute and deliver such contracts on behalf of Adrien Broner, subject to the written approval of Adrien Broner. Now, basically what I did is I read what is allegedly the Al Haymon contract. And what I did was, instead of having, you know, just the advisor, you know, there, which we know is Al Haymon, and what they go by as far as athlete, meaning the boxers, I just put the names in. So you see what it says right there, where these boxers have no rights when it comes to their career. And I understand that Al Haymon must have some grand plan. I've often used the scenario of, think about all Al Haymon fighters in one room. Think about all Al Haymon fighters in one room, and them probably looking around at each other like, well, damn, he got all these fighters, so, you know, he gotta have some shit going on, and they all looking at each other. But I asked myself once again, it's like, my God, all that money, and it's like you got Peter Quillen dropping titles and walking away from money too. Haymon already is in debt to his fighters by like maybe 50, 70 million, God knows how much, that he just told his fighters to walk away from. When you factor in Deontay Wilder, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Victor Postol, Matvey Korobov, Peter Quillen, Adrien Broner, he's telling all these guys, nah, walk away from that. Nah, walk away. How are you telling all these guys they're going to be stars? How are you telling these guys they're going to make this money if the money comes from us? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what super fights can you, like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to make these super fights? What are you going to turn this shit into wrestling? All of a sudden, these wrestlers going to start changing personalities. What you going to start the NWO? What wrestlers going to, what these boxers really going to start? You know, like, tonight, here on NBC Sports, I'm going to show you who the mystery boxer is. Like, what could, like, I don't get it. How can you raise the appeal of these fighters to match the money that they're walking away from? Now, maybe I'm just a tired-ass man talking this shit, just a little pissed off and irritated. But at the same time, I'm looking like, yo, none of it makes any sense to me. Adrien Broner just took a big hit PR into the fans, because now the fans look at him and guess what they're saying? I'm going to tell you, because you know what? Consider me a messenger. I'm not going to sugarcoat the shit. People are saying Adrien Broner's a dickhead. Like, it's like he's a dickhead, but it's not his, you know. You can't tell me that he don't want that $40 million. You can't tell me that he doesn't. You can't tell me that he hasn't been, that he's not thinking like, damn, just like Peter Quillen almost had that 1.4, and then you see Broner getting damn near 40. Rock Nation is literally was willing to overpay these boxers for the good of the sport. And that's what they would be doing, overpaying. Adrien Broner fighting Marcos Maidana, fighting Marcos Maidana, fighting Carlos Molina, and fighting Paulie Malignaggi hasn't made. And he's got to fight. And listen, he had the nerve to say, I'm fighting 4 times this year already. I don't get it. Because now, just like Manny Pacquiao walked away from that $40 million right there, and I know this is a different situation, but he walked away from guaranteed money, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like, you know, it's hard to understand or side with, oh, okay, well, he must have some big plan. And I'm talking about, look at the landscape of the 147-pound division and ask yourself, who can he fight to generate that type of money? Unless he's fighting a Floyd Mayweather or a Manny Pacquiao. And then you get people saying, oh, well, Haymon got him set up to be the next Mayweather. What? How? What? Having him fighting who? Remember, he's got to beat these guys. Remember, he's got to beat these guys. So we just need to hope, you know, for the good of Adrien Broner's career and for good of him as a person and his psyche, that he doesn't lose his next fight. We need to hope that he's in a big fight, even if you know, they say, okay, all right, well, you turned down all that money. Let's make sure you don't lose and put you against an overmatched opponent and you win. But then you got to think, he better not lose any more fights. He better not lose no fights for 2 years. He better become the next pay-per-view star. He better be making $20 million a fight starting in what? I'm going to say $20 million a fight starting in like 2018 or some 2017, some shit like that. Because right now it's just like you walked away from $40 million, homeboy. Now I understand the contract, $40 million for 5 years. That's locking you in to something like that. I understand, because you don't actually know how far a boxer's growth can go. You know, you see Floyd Mayweather $700,000 being brought out from Top Rank, and now look what he's making. But when it comes to Adrien Broner, he's not undefeated, and he's not Floyd Mayweather. And also, he has a questionable career, you know. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live with RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. Yeah. I think people who've been following me for a long time know that I covered those cards last night. I did Google Hangout, you know, and now I'm still up. So I guess that means I'm back. I pretty much do the most of my work when I'm not sleeping very well. T-Street Controversy, 11:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. January the 10th, 2015, T-Street Controversy Live.